From ScreenJunkies Studios, it's time to tune in to TV Fights. And now your host, Roxy Stryer.
What's up, Screen Junkies? Welcome to TV Fights. I'm Roxy Stryer, and we got 3 vets in the studio tonight.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Damn.
We're doing some awesome fighting today. We're talking about who should play Batman next on the small screen. We're also talking about who is the best TV sister of all time. It might come into play how many half-sisters make whole sisters. You don't even know. Math, Billy. We're really good at that thing.
TV Fights math.
Oh, yeah. And also, what is the greatest MTV show ever? So all the great stuff, plus a whole lot more. Starting to my left, introducing our fighters. He's back. He hasn't been here for quite some time. We're happy to have him over from Collider TV Talk. It's Josh McCougar.
What's up, Roxy? I'm psyched to be back. I've been biding my time. I've been waiting for my invite, collecting knowledge of television, ready to fight 2 of my 2 good buddies and 1 of my worst enemies in the entire world.
How does one go about collecting knowledge of television?
Just watching a lot of it.
Oh, it seems difficult. Do you know how hard it was for me just now? Because I do the intro to your show.
Yes.
To not say, the Josh McCougar Show.
That's good.
It almost came out, and then I was like, wait a second. That's not where we are right
You
now.
could have said the Josh McCougar Show. It would have been fine.
Yeah, that's true, that's true. Guys, coming out of the booth as a booth dweller, it's JT in the house.
Boo! Boo!
Don't boo yourself.
No, I said booth. I didn't say boo.
It sounded like he said boo, did it
It
not?
was booth.
It was an elongated O-O-O.
He's the John Wilkes Booth of TV fights.
Boo earns.
Yeah.
You should have done that intro. That would have been better. That was really good.
Yeah, I'm excited. I fought Hal before movie fights. I fought McCougar before in TV fights. And
You've never fought me in TV fights.
Yeah,
oh, yeah,
you and
did.
Mark Ellis.
That's right. That's
Could we
right.
call it a fight?
I don't know. It was a
bloodbath.
gang up.
It was a.
JT,
We're on the-
bloodbath.
it was a
what are you going
bloodbath.
to do different this time to make sure that you make it to the final 2?
I guess just speak louder and not
Is that how
stop
that
talking.
works out?
I'm just thinking that I'm gonna channel you out and just be in my own cone of debate.
Cone of debate.
Yes.
A JT
Yes.
original.
Cone
Billy,
of
write it
debate.
down. Hashtag it. Cone of debate.
Similar to the
Debate.
cones of Dunshire. The cone of debate. Yes. Guys, coming over from Screen Junkie Shows, Hal Rudnick. Hey.
You know what? Came here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, all out of bubblegum.
So just kicking ass.
Yeah.
So we're tit for tat now. I just came on your show. We talked a little Wonder Woman.
Yes.
You're coming over here.
Loving it.
Did we just become best friends?
BFF for life.
Yeah. Billy Business on the couch, our amazing fact checker.
What's up, guys? A little tale of the tape for you. 3 extraordinary fighters. Now, the last time Josh McCougar was here, September 13th of last year.
Whoa.
He,
Oh my God.
he fell to Mark Ellis in the speed round. However, to get to that speed round, he had to defeat the man on his right, JTE, who is 1-1 on TV fights. The most lopsided victory in TV fights history goes to JT. Also, the most brutal 2 against 1 also goes to JTE as
shut me
well.
out.
He has been doing well on movie fights, though. However, he has been in title contention, defeating Coy Jandro and the man to his right, Hal Rudnick. Now, Hal Rudnick has an impressive 2-1 record. His only loss coming in a championship match, which he lost to Matt Lieberman. That was 378 days ago. That was his.
Wait, you're in, brother?
378 days since his last appearance on
Holy
TV
crap,
Fights.
Ola.
Can he come back tonight and finish where he left off on the hunt for the championship? Because one of these 3 men tonight will walk away entering into tag team turmoil.
Yes.
Whoa.
Billy, let me ask you, were you compensating for the fact that the camera flips things, or do you really believe that they're on each other's rights?
Well, if you're looking at the shot,
Okay.
So
it's,
you- yeah,
it would
you-
be
you bested us.
JT would be to his right. So yes, I'm much smarter than everybody up there.
Not great at
you're
math,
looking at this-
incredible with directions. Oh, yeah.
Stage right.
Sounds
I
like
should
Billy
say.
Business's lower third for next week.
Yes.
Okay, guys, let's fight!
Let's do it.
Fight, 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 fight.
You're a.
Do I go like this because that's the opening thing they do,
Yeah,
or is this what
probably.
people just do when you say fight?
I think that
I'm usually
that
like
just
this.
comes from the Arsenio show where they said woo, 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 woo. That's the only place I know that from.
Did you
Also
touch
passenger
fingertips?
That's what Arsenio Hall would do. He would do that at the beginning of the show.
Okay.
Because
cool.
his fingers were longer
Well,
than
yeah,
ET's.
Yeah, they were like,
Phone home. All right, guys, in round 1. We want to know, in honor of Adam West, who should play Batman next on TV? We're starting with Makuga on this one and making our way around the table.
All right, I went with Patrick Dempsey, aka McDreamy. I think that what we've seen thus far in the Batman franchise, at least on the big screen, are young, hunkish dudes that are in the prime of their career. Now, McDreamy just left Grey's Anatomy, so you know he's got a lot of free time. He's a very handsome guy. He also can come across as a brooding, tough guy. But we have never seen Batman kind of at the end of being Batman, trying to fight it. Yes, in Dark Knight Rises he was sort of injured, but then he just comes out of nowhere and he can fight again. I want to kind of see a Batman that's aged, that has seen a lot of stuff, that is trying to transition out of the superhero world and into maybe training Nightwing, maybe getting a Robin, maybe doing something that is totally different from anything we've seen. I don't want something goofy. I don't want something totally on the dark side. I want something in the middle. I don't want Gotham. I don't want all these. Gotham is so all over the place. I want a Batman that is about Batman, and I also want the Batman that is a detective. He was like in some of the comic book stories, a guy that was finding the bad people and not just punching people with all these silly toys. I want a guy that's a normal human being that has had his ass kicked his whole life, that isn't still worried about his parents, still afraid of bats. I want an aged, dreamy, stunning dude that gets the ladies, but also can fly by night, but also kind of show that human side of the Batman.
JT.
I'm going to start off by saying I agree with a lot of what Makuga said. He pitched a show I kind of want to pitch. The only problem with Makuga's pitch was he had the wrong actor in the role. I want an older, badass Batman. I agree. I don't want the Gotham. The thing is, what you say with your show, you don't want it too silly or too dark. I feels like that's a show that doesn't quite know what it wants to do. With my choice, with David Harbour, let's take a look at this man. He looks gritty. I think he would be the closest thing to Kevin Conroy that we would get in a real life show, because the anime series is one of the best of all time. And this guy has the voice. And here's the thing about him. He puts on that cowl. I'm not going to see David Harbour. I'm going to see Batman. I'm afraid with some of these other choices, once that mask goes on, I'm still going to see the actor. David Harbour hasn't reached that level where everyone's just going to be like, oh, they cast so-and-so to be Batman. I think especially what DC's doing, especially on TV, they're not going for the big names. They're not going for people who automatically oh, I need to see Flash because that guy's playing Barry Allen. They're going for good character actors, and they're building the character around him. So for me, David Harbour could play that old grizzle type, and I agree with you. I don't want him to be so much the playboy that we know Batman as. He's past all that. He's closer to the end of his career where he's just a badass who's grumpy when he's Bruce Wayne, and he's a badass when he's Batman. So David Harbour encompasses everything I want for that show, and he just looks like a badass.
How?
My answer, who's going to play Batman and Bruce Wayne? Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell is the choice here. He'd be an excellent Batman. He's got the action chops. He's showed that in the Evil Dead franchises. Man, his work with Sam Raimi has that combination. In fact, he is the perfect guy to take the mantle of Batman and give us a new, updated take on this. The question was, in honor of Adam West, who would we pick for the Batman? Bruce Campbell would be able to infuse humor into that show and give us a whole nother type of superhero show that we do not currently have on TV right now. We have these dark universes. We have gritty Batman out there. Bruce Campbell would be able to combine the humor and the action and give us an amazing updated version that takes what we love about the grit of Batman and also give an homage to the humor of the 1960s Adam West Batman. Bruce Campbell is hands down the best choice.
All right, let's fight it, guys.
All right, first of all,
yeah, let's get Bruce Campbell out of here.
Yeah,
are you kidding me?
Bruce Campbell is great on Ash vs. Evil Dead. He's kind of funny in all those shows, but he is a caricature of a human being. And Batman has.
What was Adam West? Did you see Adam West Batman
that's
in
not
the
point.
1960s?
Adam West Batman doesn't even hold up anymore. Adam West he's a legend in Hollywood, but those original Batmans are a joke to a superhero franchise.
That introduced Batman to me.
Bruce
I
Campbell
watched As a kid in the 1980s, I watched those reruns all the time.
Because you were
religiously.
7. An adult Hal Rudnick, those Batmen are embarrassing. They are embarrassing.
No, they're delightfully
A sort
kitschy.
of overweight man in Lycra running around, they are embarrassing. Adam West got a career renaissance through Family Guy as a caricature of himself. The original Batman, I'm not trying to put down Adam West at all,
No.
but the original Batman is something that is 60s hokey.
Yeah.
This Batman, Bruce Campbell, the guy once said, "Hey baby, give me some sugar." You want your Batman saying that? You want your Batman
Something
saying
that's
that?
60s hokey. Look at Cesar Romero and his influence on all the other Jokers. Look at the way those Catwomen.
The Joker is supposed to be
influence.
hokey. Batman is not.
Yeah.
Batman is not supposed to go,
Adam-
I wonder what he's
there-
doing.
no,
Adam
there
West's
was-
Batman was
there
a
was
product
humor
of its time.
to it.
It was a product of its time. Today's audiences, there's no way a modern audience that wants to see what Adam West Batman would be like today. It would
Have you ever heard of something called Lego Batman? Lego Batman was a monster hit, and
Yeah, it's a cartoon.
infused
Lego
humor.
Batman is a cartoon
Yeah.
People
classic.
call it one of the best Batman movies made. Period.
That is
Yes,
ridiculous.
there have been.
It's one of the
I
best-
fought a movie fights where someone declared it the
it's one
best
of the best-
Batman movie. You can have
no.
humor. You guys are locked into the Batman. You've been
No.
programmed to
I'm
like
locked
since
into
Tim
wanting.
Burton.
I'm locked into wanting an actor that isn't.
What did they say when
isn't
Michael
a
Keaton?
caricature.
What did they see when Michael Keaton, a comedic actor, was going to be
We're not
Batman?
even bringing
That he
Michael
couldn't
Keaton.
do it.
Michael
No,
Keaton is the greatest human actor alive. 'Cause he's
I'm
from
presenting
Pittsburgh, okay?
precedent for my argument. McDreamy could not carry it, and David Harbour, that guy could not play Bruce
Are you
Wayne.
kidding me?
That guy could not play.
I'm
He is a blue collar.
I'm arguing
he
for
is a blue
McDreamy.
collar
What does
son
Bruce
of a
Wayne
gun.
and Batman have to do? They have to get people to take them seriously. The jawline of McDreamy and the eyes alone.
Jawline. Can we see that Bruce Campbell picture again? That guy's
Show Bruce
jawline
Campbell.
could cut glass.
Go ahead and show Bruce Campbell. The man
baby.
couldn't act his way out of a paper
And
bag. He's
you
a
said-
super nice guy, but come on,
And
sugar,
look,
give me some
the
sugar.
problem with
We can
Bruce-
all
Let me
do
cut
that.
down.
We can
Let
all do
me
that.
cut down your
The
argument.
problem with Bruce Campbell is when he puts the cowl on, he's still going to be Bruce Campbell. There's no time watching that show where I'm not 100%
I'm
aware
pitching
that
a
is Bruce
different
Campbell.
show than you
but
guys.
you got to remember,
I'm
that
pitching a
you
different
What are you pitching?
You
Are
gotta-
you pitching? Are you pitching Bruce Campbell as doing a sitcom, or are you pitching Bruce Campbell as just doing some guy in a costume hanging outside a Comic-Con?
And there's a president right now in DC on TV. You can't make a show with Batman and have it feel nothing to do with these other shows that are already part of CW.
Let him answer the question.
Why not? Why can't we have a Batman universe where we're able to have some fun? Why can't we infuse?
We can have fun with David Harbour
Do we wanna
as the
see-
police commissioner, but definitely not as Batman.
Oh, are
we
you
can have
kidding
fun
me?
with Bruce Campbell as the Joker, but he is not the Batman. Patrick Dempsey is McDreamy,
I
and what
don't
is
get
Batman?
it. I don't
He
get
is
it.
dreamy.
Batman?
Bruce Wayne walks into a room and women turn, men turn. Patrick Dempsey walks into a room, men and women turn
Not
and say,
true.
"That is
Patrick
effing
Dempsey,
McDreamy."
okay,
Men want to be
let
him,
me-
women want to love
Patrick
him. We all want to be
Dempsey
McDempsey.
played a billionaire in Transformers 3. He was so unlikable.
You're
He
the
was
only
so
person
terrible.
that saw that movie.
Look up the box office on Transformers 3. He's gonna be
You
dead
went
wrong
broke,
on that
Hal.
one.
You went broke.
No, and also you said, "Oh, we finally get like a grizzled older Batman."
Patrick
Ben
Dempsey?
Affleck. What's Ben Affleck doing?
Well,
He's a grizzled older Batman.
you got to separate
presented a
movie from TV.
non-argument.
You got to separate
No,
movie from
he
TV.
said we've never seen a grizzled older
he's
Batman.
talking about TV, which I feel
No,
like
he was talking about the Batman we've seen. Go
okay.
rewind the tape,
Well,
buddy.
let me talk to. First of all, Patrick Dempsey. I don't understand how anybody could see him playing Batman. He's never
And
done
first
a
of all,
role, not one role that.
Batman is not.
Name me
Ben
one
Affleck
role.
is grizzled old Batman.
Name me
Yes,
one role.
he is, brother.
Ben Affleck is a well
Name one-
manicured man that just so happens to have a bad attitude about a guy with a metal mouth.
He's
not
the oldest Batman we've seen thus far.
and
well,
he took
George
on
Clooney is older, but yeah.
Superman.
Can you name one role where Patrick Dempsey actually played somebody somewhat intimidating? Anything?
Yeah,
Can't-
what's he carry?
But
what is-
that's why you put him in this role. It's a change of thing. The guy's been able to transform a lot in his career.
You're
Come
giving
from this,
Patrick
from this.
Dempsey a lot of credit
Exactly,
here.
as you should. The man's been on TV for 25
I get
years,
it, but-
and he's never not been on a
But
successful
he's
series.
played the same type in every other show. He doesn't go outside of his box. I think Batman, if you announce today...
Trust the man to hold the Batman mantle. You trusted
Why?
the man to hold
I'm
an
asking you
ABC
why.
show for 10 years.
Grey's Anatomy?
David Harbour is a blue blue collar actor. He's not going to
David
be
That's not
Harbour.
true.
David Harbour is a
billionaire.
patrolman.
David Harbour is a great character actor, which has played many different roles throughout film and TV. He's shown he can be a chameleon.
You know what David Harbour was great at doing? He was great at being a trailer cop in Stranger Things. Okay,
Thank you.
He'll be great as a patrolman in Batman, who just so happens to team up with him, and he's his buddy. But he is not Batman.
Are you kidding me? He has the gravitas. That's the main thing I want from Batman. Somebody who can walk in a room and have the gravitas of all the other actors. Patrick Dempsey walks in a room like, oh, there's McDreamy. This guy comes in. Here comes some
Patrick
jokes.
Dempsey walks in as Batman, the room goes silent.
When
That's
I
effing
read
Bruce
this-
Wayne.
when I read
Bruce
this
Campbell walks in,
question-
they're like, hey, is he the valet? David Harbour
That's
walks
really
in,
good.
he's like, oh, that's my brother's girlfriend's
Bruce Campbell
ex-boyfriend.
has a ton of acting gravitas, and he brings a different style
Bruce
to
Campbell's
it.
entire
Let me
career is
finish
a
it.
punchline.
One of the
No,
biggest-
it's not. He's no.
Every
in as
movie
much
he's
as
been
that,
in
he's
has
great.
been guilty
in as
movie
much
pleasure.
as he's great. I can't believe we're gonna yell over each other
Yeah,
the
this
entire
whole time.
time because
Voice is gone by the end. Go ahead,
no,
Hal.
Bruce Campbell will bring a new type of Batman that will be reminiscent of Adam West's Batman.
A new type of
I'm not
Batman?
finished. I'm not talking about the dark Batman that we've seen in every
I'm not
incarnation. Okay, he's going to have the fight. He's going to have the darkness of cleaning up the city, but there's also going to be a lighter side to this Batman, and it's going to be a refreshing taste to everything we've seen. I don't think we need to see
final
another
closing
reboot.
here? Do we have final
What we've
closing?
seen via jokey stuff in the DCU recently on TV, which is powerless, did not work. Bruce Campbell walking
not
in as
talking about going that
Batman
far.
is a joke. It's a
No,
joke.
it's not.
It's a
JT,
joke.
final thought. Go ahead.
Let me just talk about both of these. First of all, Patrick Dempsey has shown me nothing that he could step into the role of Batman and actually bring gravitas to the role. I can't see him entering a room and taking control. He just doesn't bring that to a role. No, there's no proof of him ever playing anything close to being Batman. This is ridiculous. I'm going to see Bruce Campbell no matter what's going on during the show. All I'm going to see is Bruce Campbell. I'm going to hear Bruce Campbell. David Harbour has the point where he's not overexposed. He could actually go in, become Batman. People will, if he did one season of Batman, people will be like, oh, that's Batman. That's not the guy from Stranger Things. That's Batman. These guys will be like, that's McDreamy's Batman. That's Ash's Batman. And also, I will say this. One of the most important parts of playing Batman is getting the voice down. The voice, well, Bruce Campbell is so distinct that
Come on,
every
baby.
single
Give me some
time
sugar.
it's going to be like a joke. And your guy, it's going to be so bland. David Harbour almost sounds like Batman when he
Look-
just talks normal.
I wanna say,
Imagine when
look-
he put a little, if you just
Look
made
at
it
the
a little
Lego
deeper.
movie. Look at the Lego movie. Look at Adam West Batman. There's room for a Batman with a comedic lining through line.
Mamma mia.
How are your ears doing, Billy
We'll
Biz?
be more civil in the next one.
Man,
No,
no, we
it
won't.
actually was really exciting to have three vets here really fighting it out.
Yeah.
This is
I love you,
great.
Hal. I love you, JT.
Woo,
This is fun.
really
This is the best.
wonderful.
This is the best.
Talk to me, Billy.
Bring in the guns.
Well, it's round one, and I already had to take off my headphones for most of that fight.
Sorry, Bill.
Makuga, Transformers 3, aka Transformers Dark of the Moon, made $1.1 billion worldwide,
Cool.
so people saw
Sorry,
it.
Hal.
I ain't the only one that's seen it.
Did see it. Also, JTE, you said that no one in this generation would want to see Batman 66. However, last year, Batman Returned to the Cape Crusader, which was an animated feature featuring Adam West, Burt Ward, and Julie Newmar, returning to the voices, did gangbusters for Warner
yeah,
Brothers.
straight to DVD. Yep.
Well, actually, it did have a theatrical
Oh,
Fathom
yeah.
release,
Burn.
so suck it,
So
JT.
those are the cheap ones where they put on the projector.
He already told you to suck it. Now you gotta suck
yes,
it.
you must suck it.
Thou shall be sucked.
Some great suggestions by our fans. Hashtag TV Fights Live if you want to try to make sense of all of this with me, because this is just craziness. David said Michael C. Hall. You might know him from Dexter.
yeah.
Spencer said Jerry O'Connell. Devin
God.
said Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who was Thomas Wayne,
Yeah,
actually, in
not bad.
Batman v Superman. Jester said Jensen Ackles, who you may not remember, he voiced Jason Todd / the Red Hood in Batman Under the Red Hood, so he's got some experience. Dex said John Hamm, and TJ Dex said Matt Boner, who actually, that's what I said, Matt Bomer.
Really
Yes.
gotta punch that M.
So Matthew Erection, who coincidentally enough, he actually voiced Superman in a DC
He looks like Superman.
Superman Unbound.
You look like Superman.
His name is up for everything these days. Like anytime there's any role, I'm hearing his name.
I will say, when you guys first proposed this, I was like, Matthew Bummer.
Yeah, he's all over the place. All right. three very different Batmans that you guys are pitching. I feel like we spent a lot of time talking about what the show would look like, which makes sense because you've got to put your Batman in your universe. Are you going to take a pee break, or is it just getting hot under there?
My ears are sweating.
Yep, I feel that. The louder you guys screamed, the more sweaty it got. I felt like maybe it was some spit coming through the headphones. So this is interesting because I'm sure I'm going to get some slack for this, but I feel like one of you guys was really responding to the entire question, and two of you guys were responding to the second half of the question. And it is in honor of Adam West, and I think that the person who made the strongest argument for who should play Batman next on TV paid homage to him, and that's Bruce Campbell. How you get the point.
Wow.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
I see how this is gonna go.
Billy Biz, talk to me. What's the interweb
I am refreshing, and of course,
You are refreshing.
Our
That's
internet.
so true. Like a glass of lemonade, tall glass.
The internet, shockingly, agrees with you.
Wow.
49% for
surprised.
Bruce Campbell,
Bruce.
30% Patrick Dempsey, and
Nice
only
point, now.
21% to
Damn,
David
Sam
Harbour.
Harbour.
You know what?
I believe
I'm
you.
going to leave on a high note.
All
Thanks.
right.
Okay.
No.
No. All right, here we go, guys, with round two. We want you to take any film rated rotten on Rotten Tomatoes and pitch it as a TV show reboot. We're starting with JTE on this one and making our way around the table.
Guys, the fact this movie's in Rotten is a disgrace to cinema. I am going with MacGruber. One of the best comedies of the past few years, for some reason, didn't do good at the box office, got trashed by critics, but the people have embraced it. Now that it is out there on home video, there's even talks of a sequel. The problem with the sequel is they're having trouble getting funding. They've been writing it. Will Forte says he has so many ideas for to take this character that I feel like maybe the best thing to do is to scale it back a little bit. The budget wasn't huge on the first MacGruber. It was a small budget film, so I think it could transition to TV very easily. And of course, I'm putting on like stars, the same people who do Ash vs. Evil Dead, because they know something or two about adapting a TV/movie.
Pandering to Hal for some reason.
I'm just saying because that's
Hal's not the judge.
No, he's not. But I'm just saying. We were just talking about Bruce Campbell. Ash vs. Evil Dead is a great example of how to take a show and turn it into a movie, especially if it's in R-rated territory. And I think Will Forte, with all the friends he has that come on his shows, like Kristen Wiig was in the movie. She was on Last Man on Earth already. He had Will Ferrell on, Jason Sudeikis. The people that he could bring in on this series is limitless, and the talent would be amazing. I think it would be one of the best shows on Starz.
How?
That was this question. There were vast possibilities.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's so many.
But the one I kept coming back to, Alien vs. Predator, the series. What do we love about these two franchises and the potential of them coming together? Well, I thought about it long and hard, and Aliens, which I consider it's my favorite of the entire Alien/Aliens franchise, was Space Marines battling aliens. Predator, the original with Arnie, was soldiers battling a predator. So you need Space Marines, god damn it. It's gonna be Space Marines on a mission to clean up this godforsaken universe. There's aliens out there. There are predators out there who often butt heads, and you got these Space Marines caught in the crossfire trying to save the repopulated universe/galaxy. Here's the thing. I don't know the difference between a universe and a galaxy, but these goddamn Space Marines are going to be traveling through all of the above, trying to rid the known existence of aliens and predators. Oh man, and the list of character actors, I'll save it because it's what a series that would be.
David Harbour.
He should.
The strongest character actor in TV today.
You know what? I might just poach David Harbour
Right.
from your original.
He stole stars from you, so hey.
Yeah,
I don't want to take Billy's job on this one, but I'm pretty sure I can tell you the difference between a galaxy and a universe. There's one universe, and there's multiple galaxies within the universe.
Fact check it.
Fact check it, Billy.
Unless we're in DC and then the multiverse.
Yes,
that's true.
Like,
correct. Yes, Earth 74, where Barry Allen plays in an emo band. Okay.
Yep.
The movie I picked, I've argued this before, I will argue this till the day I die, is The Phantom, starring Billy Zane. The Phantom deserves to be... Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Exactly. The Ghost Who Walks. The hands down of all of the superheroes out there. I don't care. Man of Steel, Fast and the Speeding Bullet, the Dark Knight, whatever. The Ghost Who Walks is hands down one of the greatest, if not the greatest, nickname for a superhero. The Phantom was an underrated movie that came out in a really bad era of superhero movies. It was campy, it was hokey.
Oh my God.
But the actual comic books started in Australia, Key Comics in the 20s. There were some amazing things. And the beautiful part about the Phantom and why you could have an amazing series is you could do anthologies because there have been 13 Phantoms. A father past the son, and they're mortal beings. They are not superhero. They're not, like Superman or Flash or whatever. They are human beings that use guns, and they live in the jungle. That's where their house is. But then they go to Earth, and they go to America. They go wherever, and they are able to really create this amazing universe. So you could have anthologies throughout time of where, yes, this is the squeakiest chair in history.
You know that song Cut? That's like, that's like literally what's happening right now.
I'll stand up the rest of the fights. Okay,
damn.
Here we go.
I like that sweat mark
Has
on
this
the
ever
back
been
of your
done?
chair from your, you're
I was,
wearing
oh
a
my
hockey
God.
jersey.
Just so you know, though, I was
On the hottest
listening.
day of
I
the
was
year.
with you.
Here
I
we
was
go.
listening.
So the Phantom, I don't know if you get Billy Zane, but if you got Billy Zane, he's a really cool dude. Zoolander told us that. And the Phantom has the ability to really kind of transform superhero television. And what is so popular right now? But anthology series. So you could have a Phantom in the 40s that somehow gets to the 90s. And you could have a Phantom in the 1600s. They are the Ghost Who Walks that is passed down generation to generation. It is an unbelievably underrated movie that is superiorly rotten on Rotten Tomatoes, but it would make an amazing television series, something on a Netflix or a Hulu. It could even go on network TV because it transcends. People that are older would love it, people that are younger would love it, and it's a superhero we haven't seen.
All right, let's fight it, guys.
Yeah, we don't have enough superhero shows already. Also, you said Billy
Yeah, but they're
Zane
all
is the
success.
coolest. Really?
All of them are. Tell me one superhero show right now that isn't.
Iron Fist.
It still did bazunka numbers on Netflix.
That's
Crazy
not a word.
numbers.
Excuse me.
I just made up the number, the word, and you loved it.
You said Billy Zane is the coolest guy. He's the
I didn't
biggest
say-
stick in the mud.
I
and
never
the
called him the
biggest
coolest
movie
guy.
of all time,
I said Derek
Titanic.
Zoolander said, "Listen to your friend Billy Zane. He's a really cool dude." I never said he was the coolest.
No, you just
What
shot
I
yourself
s-
in the foot bringing
What
Zane back.
No, what I said was I don't know if Zane plays the part. What I said is that there are so many Phantoms throughout the years that you could create a beautiful anthology series, as opposed to Alien versus Predator.
Yeah,
First of all,
you're
Space
asking
Marines.
for pain if you sign up Zane.
Hell. First of all, that is a terrible saying. Zane is Major Payne. That is correct. He is in the reboot of Major Payne. You heard it here first.
You
All
got,
right,
you
listen
got
to
Zane,
me.
no game.
Can I say
Space-
something
no,
here?
JT,
Len,
Space Marines
in the booth,
are-
bring up that Phantom photo. Because
That's Christy Swanson at her finest.
You
Look at
picked
her.
one of the worst looking heroes
He
in
looks
the
like a
history.
penis.
The costume is the
It's a
latest.
beautifully dark plum purple.
It is known. It's known to be
The
the
world
latest
is ready
thing
for
ever.
a dark purple. The world is ready for
No.
the Phantom.
We
You know what they
don't
aren't?
need
You
Barney
know what
the
they aren't
dinosaur
ready
as a
for? I'm
superhero.
sorry. You know what, JT?
Let me tell you
MacGruber
that-
may be the most underrated comedy of all
Thank you.
time,
Thank
and
you.
MacGruber 2 should be made.
Thank you.
Last Man on Earth is just MacGruber on the Earth. Last.
How dare you, sir? Don't you say that?
Now
Because
listen,
you watched Last Man on Earth.
if you put MacGruber onto TV, that joke gets old way too quick.
Yes,
and they
it does.
already
It's
and
an
they already got a
SNL
sketch.
Did
It's a sketch.
you find
It's a
it?
sketch.
Did you find it getting old for 90 minutes when you watched the movie?
It was one
Half
movie.
an hour once a week will not feel old.
JTE, you can only do so many dick
Don't
and
you
fart
talk
jokes.
about MacGruber.
I'd like to
Listen,
talk
it's
a little bit
perfect
more.
movie.
Yeah,
but I'm going to
You're
talk about
both of your
listen,
pitches
Hal,
are sunk, so I'm going to just
Every
tell you a
alien
little bit more
movie-
about mine.
Can we
Every
talk about-
alien
this is
movie
going to
is
have
the
the
exact
feel
same.
of the modern
Hell,
Battlestar
every alien movie is
Galactica.
the exact same. They go to space, the aliens eat them. Every Predator movie is the same. We
No.
can't win, we can't win, we
You
can't win.
obviously-
Danny Glover comes
you
in, we
obviously
win.
didn't see Alien Covenant.
Alien
you
vs.
obviously
Predator.
didn't see
Who gives a shit?
Alien
It's
Cube.
two aliens fighting against each other, and when we throw Marines up there, just keep getting eaten.
First of
There's
all-
only one way they die. Alien, Predator, shoot them. No. Who gives a shit? It's space. Like we don't have enough space shows out there. Enough space
don't
movies.
have enough space
and
shows
also,
out there.
Alien vs. Predator was one of the worst movies that has ever come out.
bad.
Ever. Not like like barely rotten.
Yeah, so
like,
listen to me. That's why I said we need that component of the Space Marines.
Yeah,
that's what made those two. That's what made those two franchises.
Nobody wanted kale salad and you had shoved down our throat. Nobody needs Space Marines.
Can we talk a little bit about what the budget for these shows would be? First of all, the way the Phantom is portrayed as an action Indiana Jones superhero, the budget would have to be really large for a big scale channel ticket.
JT.
And nobody is going to sign a check on a character.
We're not arguing budgets here.
When you want to make a TV show and you have a pitch, you have to pitch the money. The money is going to come into it. No one is going to sign off on the Phantom who has no relevance in pop culture. Nobody knows the comics.
Or relevance.
Relevance.
All right,
Hold on.
Power play. 15 seconds of silence from
Hold on.
JT
And
for
this guy
relevance.
right here, literally... You're talking about like a James Cameron TV show that would cost millions and millions of dollars. They're literally flying through space.
Why not? I mean,
You know what the worst part about Alien vs. Predator
What
was?
show is going to sign off on either of these?
You know what the worst part about Alien vs.
Showtime,
Predator was?
HBO?
Was the effects. And so what? With a lower budget, the effects are going to look better? They might as well just put it on the crappy ride at Universal.
If you take a look at CGI nowadays, compared to say like the early 2000s when like the second Matrix movie came out, we have moved so far ahead. It's going to
go
look
back
beautiful.
and make an Alien vs. Predator movie?
I want to
That's
hear
what we
from you
got
guys.
better.
No, a
All right,
TV
pause for a second
series.
because I need to hear from you guys. What is your show? What is it? Where is it living? How many episodes is it? Is this a mini? What's going on with your show? Who's in it? Because I haven't heard any of
problem
that.
with
JT, go ahead.
Go ahead.
The great thing about MacGruber is you already have like a built-in template with MacGyver. It's basically a ripoff of that show where every
And we
week...
see how well MacGyver did this year on TV.
this is MacGruber, not MacGyver. He already...
So
Yeah,
you're just
so bring
taking
a box office failure.
Yeah, you're bringing a box office failure
No,
to a
Wait,
TV
JT,
failure.
keep going. What-
Kind of smells like
Here's
farts
why
on
my
poop.
show has a chance over yours. It's a small, low-budget comedy with great actors and great comedic writing. You don't need a big budget for that. He already proved to you, like he did on Fox, that he could do Last Man on Earth and pull off a comedic show. The reason why Last Man on Earth keeps getting renewed every year is because it costs very little for Fox to produce.
That doesn't
and
make
does
it
good
great.
numbers.
I enjoy Last Man on Earth, but he just jumped the ship
that's
the last
why
2 years.
That's why I want MacGruber, because I feel like him being on cable TV is restraining what he's great at. You watch MacGruber, when he could push the envelope in comedy, that's when I think Will Forte is at his best. You bring him for a 10-episode series, just like Eastbound and Down or Vice Principals, a hard
So
R-rated
is this
show.
a standalone spy movie with dick jokes? What is it?
It's exactly what MacGruber is. It's an episodic show every week. You have Val Kilmer coming back, taking over the role. He's kind of like
What's his name?
He's kind of Kunt, whatever his name is. I can't
Peter
pronounce
Von
it.
Kunt. Good
Kunt.
job.
I didn't want to say the actual word. So the great part about my show is like it literally already shows he can be successful in the cable network, and I feel like he's not doing his full potential by putting him on HBO and being true to that character. What he did with
Do
the
you know
movie.
the reason why MacGruber was so successful in our brains is because those jokes that he told were so effing original. You can't just keep doing that episode after episode.
And
There's no possible way that they can keep up
I
that amount of
trusted
comedy.
Will Forte to have a group of
Will
writers
Forte
and
has done
comedians.
4 seasons of Last Man on
Yes.
Earth, and he has been the exact same joke every episode. I loved it the first season. After
it
a
has
while,
soured.
it has
Oh my
soured.
God.
What I'm saying is, your show is fine for 4 episodes of like a funny, which is a movie.
10 episodes. But go
Alien
ahead.
vs. Predator makes no sense because
How are you gonna
who
get
cares?
people
Who cares
interested?
about aliens or predators? Who cares
The
about
most
them?
important thing about TV for me is the characters. I want to be on some sort of
The
journey with them.
Phantom is
There's
an
no-
actual human
I
being.
would love to
A
answer.
family,
I would love to
a
answer that
family of
question.
superheroes.
There's no
a family
TV
of
characters
superheroes.
here.
All right, Hal,
that
go
is
ahead.
plastic gun.
Go ahead, Hal.
Okay, mine is an episodic. Every episode, we go on a mission with these Space Marines. Maybe Jason Mitchell from Straight Outta Compton, Michelle Rodriguez. Maybe throw some Timothy Oliphant up there. He's looking for work now. And who wants to? And they go to where there's a skirmish in the galaxy, where there might be settlers at risk, and they have to clear it out of aliens and predators. And
Why
they're-
are the predators and aliens fighting each other in this one? Every other movie explains why they're fighting each other. Are they live on different planets? Are they just running after each other and these Marines are chasing them? Like, what's the
some
plot?
episodes are going to be more alien heavy, some are going to be more
That's
predator
not-
heavy,
it's not
and
Alien vs.
some
Predator.
is going to be because
We can't win. We can't beat them.
yes,
it's like
we can.
Transformers.
Did you see aliens and who's interested?
And then they
there-
and we
there's
keep going
another
back to them, and they keep
time
eating
out.
everybody.
There's another Predator movie in production. An Alien movie just came out. People will go to see these things.
I
There's
guarantee
always a
you.
demand, and if
Alien
it's
Covenant did
done right,
horrible in
if
box
it's
office
done
alone.
right,
Guarantee you they
people
both
will
bomb.
see it.
Josh, finally tell me
All
about
right,
your show.
My show is the origin of the first ever and only ever father-son passed down superhero generations after generation. He is the first vigilante that starts in the medieval times. So you can see multiple time periods of how the Phantom worked and what he did and how he saved people, he saved culture, and how he became this unbelievable urban legend, the Ghost Who Walks. His father passed down from passed down. It is unlike any superhero show we'll ever see, It's a human being fighting from time to time to time, from King Arthur until modern times.
That show.
It's a pretty good snore, Hal. That's a pretty good snore. It's pretty good.
At first I thought something was wrong, and then I was like, wait a second. All right, Billy Biz, talk to me.
All right.
Lordy.
Well, this is some interesting Googling today. So, yes, there are lots of galaxies in one universe. We don't know how many universes there are. That's part of the great mystery of life. It's why it's part of the human experience.
Listen,
Neil deGrasse Patterson over there.
Listen,
crushing
I'm
it.
an internet host, not a physicist.
Great point.
Also, Netflix does not release the viewing numbers publicly, so the bazunkiness of Iron Fist is indeterminable at the moment.
Sorry, the trend on.
Also, I did
Bazunka crushed it.
try to look up relevance, but Google kept trying to correct me into relevance. I don't believe it's a word. I'm sorry, JT. I was really on your side
I feel
for
like
that one.
the passion was behind it, and they know what I meant.
I really would love to see a JTE, like a SAT
Just-
prep course with just fake words
I'm
everywhere.
gonna do a YouTube video where I just go through the dictionary. and
Just make
go
sure
word by
if you
word.
watch a JT video, you subscribe at the end,
Yes,
not
please, guys.
subscribe.
Thank you, Billy.
We had a lot of
JT many
great.
things, you too.
We had a lot of great suggestions on Twitter. Nolan said American Ultra. David said Darkman with Liam Neeson.
Darkman would be really cool.
Neil said The Spirit. David said Boondock Saints, which actually does have a rotten score, despite a lot of people really like that movie.
Boondock Saints 2 was brutal.
But
Ned
not
said-
Boondock Saints.
Boondock Saints has about a 20-something% on
Shut
Rotten
that
Tomatoes.
front door.
It is not liked by critics. Ned said Suicide Squad. Devin said Fantastic Four, and Joe said The Room, which there is a movie coming out about the making of The Room, so if you're interested in that, James Franco.
The Room?
Yeah.
I'm good with
What?
that.
Yeah.
What?
I'm good with that,
As a
too.
series?
How?
You would just gouge your eyes out.
Unless you just gave Tommy Wiseau just like carte blanche.
Yeah, gosh, you guys are sick and twisted people, man. Just kidding, love you fans at home. All right, for this one, this is a tough question because these are
So many
some of these are
movies.
stinkers and some of these aren't as much stinkers, just are still rotten. I feel like because you all are starting with movies that are considered rotten, I'm putting that aside and thinking who pitched the best show? Which one of these shows would people actually
Makes
watch?
sense.
And because of that, I felt like the show that people would watch, Hal, I'm sorry with Alien vs. Predator, I felt like we've seen it 1,000 times on screen, and then we've got things that are similar to it. This was between JT and Makuga.
Two Joshes,
Two
one winner.
two very, very different shows here.
Yeah, very different.
But I think that with the actual pitches that you guys went for, I preferred an anthology series because I thought MacGruber was going to get old, and with 10-episode seasons,
Now
it was
MacGruber
just
fans.
too much. No, I actually do love MacGruber, though.
Yeah.
Phantom gets the point.
Phantom for
Makuga,
the
you
win.
get the point.
All right, do one for the coolest guy in the room, Billy friggin' Zane.
I'm sure the interwebs are going to have something to say
Yeah,
about
they
this.
don't.
No pain, no gain.
They don't agree with you. I do want to say, now that the fight is over, The Phantom is unironically one of my all-time favorite movies.
Yes, thank you,
So-
Billy.
Would you
Suck
watch
it
the
out.
show?
I even watched that shitty sci-fi
Oh, yeah, the
miniseries
sci-fi
they did
show, I remember
like
that.
10 years ago. It was awful.
Wow.
But,
The animated.
44% want to see more Aliens versus Predator, 31% MacGruber, and only 25% want to see more Phantom.
So the internet is not
They're
on our
insane
side.
in the membrane.
Cool. All right, guys, let's get to round 3.
Sorry, internet.
All right, ding, ding, ding. What is the greatest MTV show of all time? So a little different than talking about rotten movies.
tough.
Greatest MTV show of all time. Starting with Hal on this one, making our way around the table.
Well, up until the 11th hour, I was going Teen Mom. I was going hard for Teen Mom. But then I realized I was wrong, and I was forgetting what the actual best MTV show of all time is, which is Beavis and Butthead. Beavis and Butthead spawned so much. It was such a trailblazer as far as catchphrases, pop culture commentary, and you have one of the great creative visionaries of our time, Mike Judge, in making a show that stands the test of time. Mike Judge, we wouldn't have King of the Hill without Beavis and Butthead, and
Damn it, Bobby.
then what's that?
Damn it, Bobby.
Yep. And going on with his body of work, Silicon Valley, Office Space, to name a few. But this show really was ahead of its time. It showed these bad kids. It one-upped The Simpsons as far as bad kids go, because Beavis and Butthead are really awful. They're terrible children. You would not have South Park without Beavis and Butthead. And just as far as like the culture that we live in of commentary on things on the internet, watching shows and like posting your opinions, just sitting and watching Beavis and Butthead, that was like the early incarnation of internet culture, of commenting on pop culture. There's so much to be taken away from that show, and it was so ahead of its time, and it's another sign of its quality. It spawned a wonderful spin-off in Daria, and it's the greatest MTV show of all time.
Makuga.
I'm going to go with MTV Spring Break. I'm going to say that for the reason of MTV Spring Break was the first ever, basically, insanely funny Instagram account. It created the greatest party. Spring Break was just like, hey, we get a week off of school, let's go down to Florida, or like, let's do this and like hang out with people. MTV took that from, let's go hang out with our buddies, to explosion of awesome. If you were watching MTV Spring Break like I was from my house in Pittsburgh, I was the most jealous human being on the world. There isn't one MTV show I watched that was like, God, I wish I was in that show so bad. You had Snoop Dogg come out in a Cordell Stewart jersey and do live performances. Some of the greatest live performances ever on television happened in MTV Spring Break. Go back and watch some of these incredible things. They had shows that would come down and do pranks. They basically took Panama City, Florida, which for all intents and purposes is one of the worst places in the world, and made it look amazing. They made Panama City look like the greatest place in the world. And there isn't a show like that out there right now. That was back in MTV when you were able to watch music on TV and just cameras searching audiences, and it was somehow some of the most entertaining TV. You kids out there watching MTV right now have no idea what you're missing when MTV had music back on. MTV Spring Break is the greatest show they ever did.
JT.
I went with Yo MTV Raps. And the reason why I chose this show is because the question is, what is the most important show to MTV? The reason for me, Yo MTV Raps, because it was an ambassador for hip-hop. In the early 80s, when MTV started showing stuff like Duran Duran and all these videos, they almost never played an African-American music video unless it was Prince or Michael Jackson and Lionel Richie. And that was it. And that would only be maybe once every 4 hours. Literally, they made this show because this thing, which was supposed to be a fad, something that wasn't going to last, this new hip-hop genre, MTV had no hope in it until Ted Demme, who was a young production assistant, literally said to MTV, guys, I think this is going to be something special. Why don't you just let us do a show? And they gave him a few $1,000s, and he produced a show called Yo MTV Raps. He started with Freddie Five Fab, who was a...
Fab Five Freddy.
Oh, yeah, but either way, you get the idea.
No, Fab Five Freddy.
Fab Five Freddy.
Rudnick v. Hal, like, I don't think
Either
you just
way,
make
I'll
up
be-
his...
I'll be honest,
ways.
I didn't start watching until Ed Lover and Dre came on. So, like, I had to
Dre
learn about
Doctor,
that
for
guy.
sure.
Yeah.
Dre Doctor.
Dre Doctor, even better. So basically, this was like a way for him. What I love about when the show first started was he didn't actually have his own little studio. He went to the artist's house. He went to LL Cool J's house. He went and visited NWA. And he actually showed what these people were living like and how their music reflected where they were living. And for years, rap was not getting any respect, and almost every single person who was in hip-hop watched Yo MTV Raps as inspiration to show, oh my god, here's this guy named KRS-One who I've never heard of, Rakim, who's like never been heard of, and to the point where he never really did publicity, but he went on Yo MTV Raps because he respected what they were doing. The very first time the Grammys said, we're going to give a rap award, they decided not to air it on television. All the nominees, Salt-N-Pepa, Will Smith at the time, who was also his first appearance ever on a camera, was on Yo MTV Raps. Instead of of going to the Grammys because they weren't going to be on television, they protested and they went on Yo MTV Raps. All the contestants went on there and just had like a little party while the Grammys was going on. Basically, this show pioneered what hip-hop is today. It might not have survived if it wasn't for this show and bring it to another audience like Spring Break. There were I think Biz Markie was one of the first artists to sing at Spring Break when the MTV did a Spring Break, and he said how crazy it was for him to look out, see all these white kids from the suburbs literally knowing every single lyric to his song, and he saw it was like the most insane thing he'd ever seen because he never thought his music could reach that many people across America.
All right, let's fight it, guys.
Okay, here's the thing. I think Beavis and Butthead, I agree with you in a lot of respects, Hal.
Thank you.
That Beavis and
Now-
Butthead was legendary, but it also created the worst impressions.
Legendary.
It created the worst impressions. Every kid in every school across America was going, they were the most annoying kids ever. It also
That's
it
a
also
sign of
spawned
how funny and
it
how
also
amazing
spawned
it is.
really
You
evil
are-
kids
you're-
lighting their house on fire.
You're making
lighting their
my
house on fire,
argument
killing
for
their
me.
families.
You're making
because,
my
because of
argument
Beavis
for
and
me.
Butthead.
I thank you for making my argument for me.
It
How
also inspired
pervasive
kids
and
to be
funny
lazy.
It is.
It also Beavis and Butthead
In the
almost
same
ruined an
way
entire
South Park.
generation of children.
Yeah, the same way rock and roll once did, or the
No,
same way hip hop
no.
once did. Hey, Grandpa, get
Beavis
off my
and
lawn.
Butthead is terrible for American culture.
Yo MTV Raps. It's a great forum for rap music, but how is that better than 120 minutes that showcased alternative music? There was nothing like 120
Yo
minutes on
MTV
TV.
Raps
or
was so
Headbangers
poor.
Ball. How is it better than Headbangers Ball that showcased that style of music? Why is
'Cause
it
that
better than
music-
Rap City on
'cause
BET?
You know how good- you know how good
that was
MTV
all that was all after Yo MTV Raps, by the way.
You know how good
You're
Yo
literally
MTV Raps
talking about
was?
shows.
They had Dr. Dre that wasn't the actual Dr. Dre. That's how good Yo MTV Raps was. The actual
Are you,
Dr.
are you
Dre.
telling me because of his name?
Spring
Dr.
Break,
Dre.
That's not even a show. Wasn't
Yes,
that
it
just
is.
wraparound?
It's the first anthology series. It was one of the most well-produced
Listen,
parties you'll ever see.
I was
One of the-
once a teenage boy who liked looking at girls in bikinis. Now I'm an old man who likes looking at girls in bikinis. But like, see, here's the thing.
Let me tell you how. What would you rather
that
sit
is
through?
so baseless.
Awesome kids, awesome people dancing around in bikinis, or Beavis and Butthead?
Beavis and Butthead.
No, you are lying to yourself and you're lying to everybody out
Would
there.
I rather watch MTV Spring Break,
Yes,
which
you
is
would.
like
You are
mindless? and
jealous
there's-
watching
no,
those
it's-
kids
it's
enjoy
just-
themselves.
It's just seeing a
Debaucherous.
party.
Exactly.
But-
Watching
but
a
a
party
party-
camera on a party with live music.
why
How
is-
is that not amazing television?
The
fact
question
that they were
is
able to
important.
keep
It's
that
not
television.
amazing television.
Yes, it
The
is.
question is, why is it important to MTV?
No, that's not the question.
That-
The
why-
question
what
is,
is-
what is the greatest,
What's the greatest
MTV show of all time?
Yeah,
you
yeah,
use
but
the
why is
word
it most
important as a
important?
key part of your argument, and that's not part of the question.
JTE, Yo MTV Raps was played late at night because it was boring, but also because the music they couldn't
Boring?
play because they couldn't play the music on regular MTV because they weren't commercial because these
Let's-
people swore too
that's-
much of their
Let's
music.
look
That's
at
not
what
true.
MTV is now.
Yo MTV Raps only
M-
lasted for 7 years and then they took it off the
MTV
air
is
you know-
about
because
episodic
let me-
because
programming
that's
right
and then
now.
rap became
All right, I know where I'm
Can
going.
I say something?
No, I'm cutting the argument. I know where I'm going. I know. Well, that's on you. Billy Biz, talk to me.
Sad JTE is my favorite thing
I had
ever,
so
by the
many
way. So
points
thank
to
you
take, I didn't
very
get to
much for that. So many choices online. I mean, everything from Pimp My Ride to Jackass to Room Raiders to The Real World to Catfish to The Challenge to Together. And then my mom texted me halfway through the fight and said MTV Cribs.
So that gets the
Cribs.
point.
That
Is
gets
it-
MTV
yeah.
Cribs. Mom gets the
Can't
point.
believe that is
Mama
arguing so hard for
business
MTV
gets the
Spring
point.
Break. Never in my life.
So
That would happen.
here's the deal. You were fighting for the most fun show. You were fighting for the most important show, and you were fighting for the greatest MTV show. And how you get the point.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Interesting.
I don't like to make you guys fight longer
I
than
had
that.
so many points that I couldn't even
I'm
cross.
sure, but there was nothing that anybody was going to say to
Yeah.
change my mind at that point. So we're going out. Oh, talk to me, Billy Biz. What's going on?
I just want to
No,
say
congratulations.
also that JTE was super confident about that choice this morning.
I
so-
literally had
I think
so
that
many
it's
notes.
the most impactful, maybe the
Yeah.
most important, what it did for society.
It really wasn't
Greatest.
even
But
that.
was the show the greatest?
Well,
Yeah,
the
several,
internet
yes.
tends to agree with your definition of greatest. 54% Beavis and Butthead, 24% MTV Spring Break,
Yes.
and only 12% for Yo MTV
Well, because it
Raps.
went off in '95 because they actually started playing rap videos during the actual
Should I let him
time.
keep going? Or?
No, I'm done.
That would have made the show irrelevant and thus not good.
Round
That's what
four.
it was the whole time.
Round four.
No, it was a success for rap. They were able to
four.
finally get on there.
I'm gonna just round four. Yeah, here we go. Who is the best TV sister? Sister.
I was just going to do that same thing. I was just going to go, sister.
Nobody picked that, though.
Tea and
Makuga,
tomato.
we're starting with you and making our way around the table.
I think this is going to be pretty short. It's Monica Geller from Friends. And I'm not pandering to Roxy. I believe that she is hands down the greatest TV sister. And I'll give you 3 to 4 things why. She is an amazing cook. She was a chef. She loved cooking. She loved entertaining. There's nothing better than coming home and hanging out with her sister and her making an amazing meal. She was also very tidy. Some would say anal or anal retentive, which I think is comedy at its finest. She also couldn't make any good speeches. There was an amazing episode where Ross made the greatest speech and Monica tried to one-up him, and she was terrible at it, thus making her brother look that much better. And she's married to an awesome guy. Chandler Bing, one of the greatest husbands, friends, funniest guys in TV history. Also, Monica Geller can introduce you to some of the most beautiful women on the planet, including her best friend, Rachel Green.
All right, JT.
I'm going with Mona Lisa from Parks and Rec by Jenny Slate. I think she's the ultimate sister because she's exactly like her brother. They're literally like they're the exact same person, but one's male, one's a female. And to me, like, you want your best friend to be your sister. So when you actually watch this show and you see them together, they're like a dynamic duo. For me, like, Monica is just like what if you were a bunch of scientists got together, like, let's make the perfect sister. That's what it would be. There's no flaws there. She's a TV character.
So do I win now?
No, because it's not realistic. For me, it has to be somewhat realistic to the point where they actually get along.
No, I'm not going to say it. I'm going to say it.
Go ahead.
All right, Hal.
Okay. The actual best sister in TV history is Arya Stark, okay? And I'll tell you why. You guys were describing the person. You weren't just telling me why it was the better sister. Arya Stark wants to avenge her family. She has gone to the ends of the earth, maybe the galaxy, maybe the universe. I don't know the difference between planets or galaxies, but she has gone to the ends
She's outside the
whatever
realm.
it is. She has gone blind for it. She has gotten beaten up and torn asunder for it, and she has realized what her true purpose is. It is to avenge her family. She doesn't even know if her brothers or sisters are still alive. She could go off and have a fine life. She could have just been a part of that theater troupe or whatever she was doing. And just forgotten this mission. But no, she needs to honor her family name. She needs to avenge her brothers and sisters. She needs to avenge the Stark name. Oh, this girl has no name? Formerly, now she's a goddamn Stark, and you're never gonna forget it, and if you try to forget it, you will taste the needle.
Well, if you're gonna pick best TV sister, I actually want to see her with her sister or brothers. She's in for the first half of season 1.
So does she.
And she's gone.
So does she,
but
my good man, Josh.
She's literally by herself for the whole
Arya
show.
Stark has had the most boring storyline the last 2 seasons.
Yes,
Are
thank you.
And when she was an actual sister to Sansa, she was kind of a little bitch. She was kind of a little
You
brat.
listed all this stuff that Monica
JTE,
was.
Mona
She's a
Lisa-
chef. She's tidy. How does that make her a good sister?
Yeah,
being
it's like,
having
I'm a good
OCD
cook.
tidiness.
She's loyal. She loves her brother. She
Is
supports
she loyal?
her brother.
She gives Ross a lot of shit.
Yeah, but that's what makes sisters great. It's the back and forth. It's the love. It's the beautiful, like, it's the sibling nature. Arya Stark hasn't had a moment with a member of her family since season 1. How does it make her a good sister?
Killing her
It just makes her a
because
daughter and a Stark.
It burns
She
inside
mentions
her.
Sansa like once. She's like, I hope I.
Yeah.
All she wants to do is kill the people that killed her dad. She couldn't care less about Sansa.
she thinks they're all
never
dead.
even liked Sansa.
She doesn't even know if she's still alive. She is
She
driven.
watched her dad get his head chopped off as Sansa was like, Dad, admit to it. Sansa's the reason he got his head lopped off.
Yeah, I'm not saying Sansa's the best sister.
So,
I'm
and then
saying
Arya
Arya's
took
the
off.
best sister,
The rest
my
of the
man.
time, she's like, oh, I hope somebody's okay. I hope I get there. She's just a daughter and a Stark. And by the way, JT, Mona Lisa, Jean Ralphio's sister, they are 2 of the most terrible TV characters in the history of television.
talking
They
about?
are
Bad
mean.
people.
They are awful people. She
Annoying.
almost ruined.
I'm not
she almost
fighting
ruined
that
Tom
they're.
Haverford's
Hold
life.
on, I'm not fighting they're good people. I'm fighting that she's the best TV sister. Every time
Best TV sister.
Every time she shows
she's
up
a
on that.
raging lunatic.
Every time she shows up on that
She's
show,
chemically imbalanced. She's a drunk
so
and a
is
drug
Raphael.
addict.
And so is Raphael. That's why they're the best sister-brother combo.
Those are 2 horrible people.
They are horrible
How
people.
They are terrible for each
They're
other.
too
That's
horrible.
a terrible
They're-
sister.
I agree
It's like
that-
saying your sister is.
Yeah, she's too much of an enabler.
I
They're
agree.
peas in a, like,
No, they're not neighbors. They're on the same
JT,
page.
go ahead.
I agree they're horrible people, but they're horrible people together. They totally understand that they're both horrible people.
So they're
They
good.
get
That's
it.
a good sister. Is making her sister her brother even worse?
No, because they play off each other. They literally like a team. That's the best
That's
brother
like
sister
Sidney
combo for me.
Crosby's line mate being a donkey.
If you're the best TV sister,
We just went
I
into
would-
NHL.
Yeah, no,
Sorry.
I'm saying,
It's like Alien and Predator hanging out together, brother and sister.
if you're fighting who's like one of the best female characters,
JT,
I understand
your choice
Monica.
is absolutely horrendous.
Why?
Mine is a
Just-
human being that loves her brother, that helps her brother, that helps the people around her, that is a genuinely good human being. Yes, competitive in the Bahamas and
she's-
ping
it
pong.
was few and far between. I didn't even think
She's
like
just- yeah,
Monica
she's-
was more like made fun of Ross. I
she's
didn't
her
feel
own
like
good
she was
character.
like
But Ross
going to be
made
a
fun
great
of her
sister
too.
to Ross.
When I see
listen,
Monica, I don't think there's Ross's sister. When I see Jenny Slate on that show, I'm like, damn, there's Raphael's sister. We're gonna get some
Yeah,
brother
but they're
sister.
not the great,
damn,
like you
there's a
said,
sociopath.
Like your definition of the best sister and be like, oh, to be exactly the same. I think a
to be-
sister needs to add qualities and offset and
At
complement.
what point has Arya Stark complimented Sansa
And they
or
never see
Robb
each other.
or any of the Starks? She has just been oysters, clams, and cockles for 2 seasons.
Oh, but she is on her way. She is journeying back. Did you see where we left off with her? And
I don't care.
Spoiler.
Sansa.
Spoiler alert, she's still out there wandering like Frodo without his buddies.
Half her
Son-
siblings are dead. by
Yeah,
the
they
way.
have Sansa has a different skill
a
set
good
than
sister
Arya.
would have saved her sister away from
She is
Joffrey.
trying. She is trying. She's a child who's gaining these skills and trying to become someone who can avenge.
It's arguable that Arya Stark not only is one of the worst characters in Game of Thrones, but that we have wasted time on her storyline for so long, and also that she hasn't been a sister at all.
Oh,
Monica Geller
bite your tongue.
was the competent sister the entire time. She was the rock. She was the stone. Whenever you needed something, you went to Monica, and she took care of it. That's a sister.
You act like that character's the first character that like that on TV ever. There are so many characters back to Family Ties, all these other shows,
Great
Pains,
Sisters,
that
she
had
perfected
great
it.
sisters.
Great
she
Sisters,
didn't
she
perfect it, she
yes,
just
she
copied
sure
it.
did.
Jenny Slate did something totally different.
When
Well,
Ross
yes, she's
needed
not a
something,
good character,
when Ross
but
needed
she's a sister
when Ross needed a
on the
shoulder
show
to
every
cry
time.
on, Monica was there. When Ross and Rachel
If
were
the
having
question
troubles,
was-
Monica
if
was
the question
there.
was who's the sweetest, most plain sister, I'll give it to Monica right off the bat.
Sweetest, most loving, most competitive, amazing sister is Monica Geller.
Okay, for the final thoughts here, try to remember this isn't who you would want to be your sister
Yeah,
the
of
most.
course.
This is
Oh, I
who is
wouldn't
the
want her as my
best.
sister.
Who is the best TV sister? So I want to hear what about them finally makes them the best TV sister. We'll start with JTE on this one.
I think she's best TV sister because that's exactly how she's introduced. She's only on the show to be Raphael's sister. They're basically a mirror image of each other, and they go on these. The comedy works perfectly, by the way. I think every single time they show up on that show, the show gets elevated by the comedy in a different way because Parks and Rec had all kind of different comedy. A lot of people said it copied The Office, but every time Raphael and Jenny Slate came out as Mona Lisa, it brought a different dynamic to that show. That sister was an exact mirror of Raphael. You thought he was the most ridiculous person on the show, then you met his sister, and you're like, oh my god, there's two of them. And if they just felt like
We didn't
siblings.
need two of them.
Oh, we did. Jenny Slate was fantastic in that show.
Jenny Slate was a
All right,
sociopath.
Makuga,
Yes, thank you.
why is Monica the best sister?
Monica Geller, there isn't a yes, okay, her and Ross have a go back and forth, but that's what brothers and sisters do. That's why she's an amazing sister. My brother and I love hate all the time. That's why I love him as a brother, because he tells me when it tells to my face when it's honest, and that's what Monica Geller did. She gave it to Ross gave it back to her, and that's what a healthy brother-sister relationship. It's not enabling your brother to be a sociopath and your brother enabling you to be a sociopath and ruin a person's life. And it's also not a girl that just goes off on her own with a little tiny little pencil of a sword trying to get her way back to her sister that may or may not be alive. And last time she saw him, it wasn't very nice to him. Monica Geller is the most loving sister in the history of television.
How?
What does one do when they have everything ripped from them? Some
This week I
call it a day, and some try to fight and claw their way back to life. That is what Arya Stark has done, and it is she is the not just the best sister, the greatest sibling probably of all time. But yes, for this question, she is the best sister because she's trying to honor her family, avenge her family, save her family, get close to her family. You're talking about just like a garbage person and someone who's just was never a good sister to her brother. This young lady is trying to give. She's sacrificing the ultimate for her family. She's a super badass.
Waiting for that.
Talk to me, Billy.
All right.
This is the toughest one yet, for sure.
What?
I think this was the toughest one yet.
It's tough, man.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think I busted an eardrum on this
buddy.
round.
Sorry.
Tom said Lisa Simpson. Dax said Judy Funny from Doug. That's a obscure
Wow.
poll. Eric
bad.
said, speaking of obscure polls, he said Phil from the twins, Phil and Lil from Rugrats.
Okay, that's a brother?
Sorry, he said Lil from
Okay.
Phil and Lil from
Cool,
Rugrats.
that counts.
TJ Dax said Deborah Morgan. Jack
Ooh.
said Alex from Supergirl. A lot of people said that Barry would probably say Iris because she's both a sister and a lover. 2 in 1.
With Deborah and with Iris, yeah, we're crossing into that
And then
territory.
I'm going to read you verbatim what Mike said because I think this would have just ended the game if someone had said this. Mike says, the best TV sister is Sister from Sister Sister.
Oh,
Done. Just Sister.
Sister.
Yep. Won the
Sure.
point.
Yeah, got sister. Here's why this one's tough for me, is that I feel like I don't know about any of them. When it comes to Monica, I think that she is fine. I think that she's an okay sister. I think I wanted to hear more from you guys about how, like, she isn't because they used to tackle each other. She's too competitive. She's always trying to beat him in football, anything. But I didn't hear really where she wasn't. When it comes to Mona Lisa, I heard a lot about why she's the best partner in crime, but not why she's the best sibling, why she's the best sister. And for Arya, I think it was a great point that we don't see her with her siblings enough, and I'm not fully convinced that that is what she's out for vengeance and revenge because of them, or if she's just kind of like an angry chick.
She's a little psycho.
So this one was hard, but I feel like the counter arguments were weakest on Monica Geller, which is why Makuga gets the point on this one.
Yes. Yes.
Billy
Thank
Biz,
you,
talk
Roxy.
to me.
The internet disagrees with you.
Of course, they
Arya-
went Arya
Arya,
story.
it's Arya.
Yes, but not by as much as you would think. 41% Arya, 32% Monica, and it just shifted just ever so slightly, so it's 42% now Arya and 26% Mona Lisa. Mona Lisa was never in.
Keep it shifting.
I actually really liked the pick of Mona Lisa, but then I didn't hear enough about like what sibling duties are and why that it was more
One of the most
PIC.
annoying
Really?
characters
I
in
love
history.
those.
too.
I love
I,
those.
I think she's awesome. All
brilliant.
right, let's go into round
Strikes and
5. We can't do this very often here on TV Fights because we don't have enough people in here who watch sports. But with you guys,
Yeah,
we totally
all
can.
day.
Yes.
So we want you to pitch a TV show based on any athlete. Starting with JT on this one and making our way around the table.
I'm gonna go with George Foreman, and mainly because, wow, are you kidding me? This is why, because this guy's life has been a roller coaster of ups, and downs, and it's fascinating. The more you hear about this guy, the more you're like, his life story is just kind of amazing. Most people, if you go on the street, do you like know George Foreman? They might say the boxer, they might say the grill guy, they might say the preacher. He was an ordained preacher for a
No
while.
one's going to say the preacher.
Well, no,
All of those people that he preached to,
It
yes.
depends where you are. He's got a huge following in the church, actually. I was surprised when I did some research. I was like, damn, this guy, he knows his stuff. He did a whole boxing fight just for charity for a youth church. That's the only reason why he took a professional fight at one point in his career. The fact that you think about him, you're like, he's the guy who lost to Ali, the Rumble in the Jungle. He was the champ by taking out Joe Frazier. After losing to Ali, he went to a deep depression. Could not get over the fact that he lost because he was so heavily favored. To beat Ali, like, it was unfathomable. That's why it's one of the most historic matches of all time. That could be like the end of a story for most people, but this guy literally found religion through a bunch of different ways, and then eventually, at 45 years old, became the heavyweight championship. Are you okay? Who was that?
That was him.
Who was it? Okay, it was Makuga. I thought that was you. I was like, that was impressive.
I was taking a page out of Hal's book.
Yeah, but he literally. So not
Who
only
was that?
Yeah, not only can you start with the fact that he lost the heavyweight championship, but that he won it at the oldest age ever in the history of boxing at 45 years old. And then this could be like a maybe 8 to 10 episode miniseries almost. I would take it the whole thing as his life from the beginning to the end, to the point you could do a whole episode just when he finally made the grill. I mean, he became almost a billionaire because of that.
I can't wait for the grill episode.
Did you see The Founder?
That was one of the most boring movies of
What?
last
With
year.
Michael Keaton?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
brutally
no.
boring.
Not fighting that. How?
I think it'd be fascinating.
I thought long and hard about this because I am a sports fan, and I figured what would be the most compelling series, and what could have legs. What would you want to stay with for 5, 10 seasons? Muhammad Ali. there's no question about it in my mind. The man has lived so many lives, from the young man Cassius Clay who defeated Sonny Liston, and that champion when he had to fight for his civil rights, and changing his name as Muhammad Ali and being a conscientious objector in the Vietnam War and being banned from boxing 4 years. Man, that is a series right there. But then he comes back, he regains the title. Then from there, within that time period, his press conferences, the way he conducted himself, the influence on African Americans in this country, to see someone be able to carry themselves with that much pride and composure and dignity and not let someone tell them how to behave. It's just a beautiful example. He was a stunning human being. His humanitarian and civil rights works opened so many doors. And then in his later life, still working for causes, but then eventually ravaged by Parkinson's disease. And there are so many moments in between his individual fights. He could not talk about his character without mentioning mine, who has just such a legacy and a journey. And I could see that being one of the most amazing prestige series we've ever seen. His life begs that kind of treatment, and he's the most deserving of it.
Makuka.
I'm going with a modern day athlete, somebody that actually has relevance, and that is, or should I say relevance? I'm going to say, I'm going with Rob Gronkowski. Now, I'm a Steelers fan, so I hate playing the Patriots. I hate everything about the Patriots, but there's something so lovable about Rob Gronkowski. Played a couple years of high school football in Pittsburgh. He's dumb, but he's somehow a genius. He's big and shouldn't be as good at football as he is, and he's amazing. He took the first celebration in football history, spiking of the football, and reinvented it. But that doesn't make a TV series. What makes a TV series is what happens off the field. And what you could do with Rob Gronkowski is limitless. Yeah, you could do parties, you could do crazy stuff like that, but you could also turn him into a spy. You could turn him into a time-traveling maniac. You could do so much stuff with Rob Gronkowski, because with Rob Gronkowski, anything is possible. I'm so tired of biopics about athletes. It was tough. My life was hard. I want to see awesome. And what is Rob Gronkowski? He is awesome. That is the most entertaining show you will ever watch, because all he is Rob Gronkowski. He's Gronk. He could even go back to caveman times, like, oh, fit in here. Wherever Rob Gronkowski goes, people want to be with him. Nobody wanted to be with Ali, because he's just a big showboating idiot. And George Foreman is the most boring man alive. Sorry, I know I'm supposed to fight them.
Boring man alive.
I'm going with Rob Gronkowski because deep down inside, there's a little bit of Gronk in everybody.
You just offended half the audience, and you also contradicted yourself like 5 times in there. First, it was pitch a TV show. You didn't pitch a TV show.
Yes, I did.
You talked about this fun guy. You said he could party,
Rob
he could be a spy.
Gronkowski is a human television show. He could do whatever he wants.
So is this a reality show?
No, it's not a reality show. It's not a reality show.
Oh,
the reality show is just MTV Spring Break. We've already seen it.
Star in a show about himself?
Correct.
Where he's going to party, be a spy, and what are the other things?
Anything he wants to do.
Can he even
Each
act?
show, it's almost like Rob Gronkowski in Quantum Leap.
That
Take
sounds
him,
so unwatchable.
You know what's unwatchable?
So gravely,
deeply another sports biopic about, Muhammad Ali, well known as an asshole. Excuse my language.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Well known. Have you ever his press conferences nowadays he's Floyd Mayweather before Floyd Mayweather was Floyd Mayweather.
No,
he was a scumbag. He cheated on multiple wives. We already saw Ali, and nobody gave it.
Muhammad Ali is a man of character. Do you know what he did to fight for civil rights? Do you
Muhammad
know
Ali,
how
while men were dying in Vietnam, he was a conscious objector.
What we're doing now, we're fighting for what the shows are, not who the human beings were.
Yeah, and here's something just
Don't even try, JT.
so compelling.
He was a fat guy that invented a grill.
So much more now.
Yeah,
he's the slowest boxer alive.
I can't believe what you're saying about Muhammad Ali.
You know what the worst part about the Foreman is the Foreman doing a grill episode? You know what the worst part about the Foreman
But you're
grill
right
was?
in one respect. He was a controversial character. In the 1960s...
We already saw the movie and it was boring. It was 3 hours.
Yeah, because it was Michael Mann at his worst. This would be a compelling series because because there
More
are
compelling
so
than Will
many
Smith.
lives. There are so many lives. Yeah,
Cool.
more compelling than Will Smith.
Cool.
Newsflash, Will Smith is a
me
movie star, not a great actor. Will Smith is a movie star, not a great actor.
You're gonna pitch me a long-winded story about Muhammad Ali?
No,
really.
I'm gonna.
We've seen it.
No, I'm gonna
We've
pitch.
seen it.
No,
It's a
I'm gonna pitch
boring
you.
show.
No, I'm gonna pitch you a deep dive into one of the most fascinating lives in America. He upset an unbeatable champion. He was a conscientious objector and stood up for his beliefs. These are all episodes
While
and
other
periods
men were out there
each
dying.
season. Oh,
That's not as conscious. That's
What,
just wrong.
no, that's a conscientious objector because he was Muslim. And until you've lived the life that he lived in America and treated the way black people
I'm not-
were, I
Muhammad
wouldn't
Ali-
judge
JT,
that.
JT, you talk, JT.
I'm not going to insult Ali because I'm a huge Ali fan. The problem with him is he's such an iconic character and he's so good on the mic. I've never seen anybody give a good performance that even came close. I mean, Will Smith was kind of close, but I still saw Will Smith. Muhammad Ali starred in a movie called The Greatest about his life where he played himself. And I still couldn't buy it, even though the guy that literally lived the life is starring in the movie. And I do agree, we know his story so well. There's so many great documentaries, the movies.
To answer that, we'd
The greatest boxer of
Michael
all
B.
time isn't
Jordan,
even
or we'd
named
find
Muhammad
an
Ali.
amazing. I think Michael B. Jordan could do it. I also think we could find an excellent actor. That's what casting is for, JT.
Will Smith was nominated for an Oscar for Ali. He did a great job, but even though you do a great job,
We're not talking
it's
about
still
that
gonna.
movie.
But it's still the performance still felt like a copy. It doesn't feel like it quite. George Foreman is not that big of a life character when it comes to personality. You could hire somebody who might be a little better at portraying
George
George
Foreman
Foreman.
named all of his children George. You know how hard that would be to write that show?
You said it
it's
yourself,
not a TV
JT. I want to
show.
use your words
Yeah,
against
it
you
isn't
in
that.
as
You're
much as
pitching a TV show.
JT. You
Not a
said
sitcom.
you
Yeah,
you
not a
talked
all of his
sitcom.
kid George.
You talked about
All of
George
them.
Foreman, and you said this could be a good miniseries.
Even the girls.
You said
No,
this
like-
could be a good miniseries.
It could be, yeah.
Yeah. That's all the material you have. Maybe a good miniseries. Muhammad
No,
Ali
here's the deal. Ali-
lived 10 lifetimes in
That's
one
not true
lifetime.
because Ali's ending. A lot of people when they tell documentaries and movies, Ali's ending is Rumble in the Jungle. That is the beginning of my story, and it goes all the way to the 90s.
Ali's ending is Rumble in the Jungle. No, let me talk to you about.
I'm
This would
talking-
be another.
I can't even
the
finish.
end
Show
chapter.
voting
I can't even
No,
finish,
can-
Roxy.
Call
I give up.
Foreman a gorilla, for Christ's sake.
I'm
No
out.
offense.
I can't help. I can't help you there if you give
The
up.
end,
No, I'm
the
out.
end chapter of Ali's life. There are so many chapters. When he fought Larry Holmes and he got brutalized when he was too old to still be in the ring.
Yeah.
What a tragic
That's sad.
fall.
That's sad.
That's
a
drama.
movie. It's
So
not a
sad.
TV show.
What are you talking about? Yes,
that-
it is a
And
TV
they already
show.
made a documentary about it, and it was really boring.
Yeah, it was a 30-30. Larry.
There's one of the most
that
boring 30
Have you
for 30s
ever
I've
seen
watched.
When We Were Kings? It's a beautiful documentary.
It's a great documentary.
His
I'm not talking about
life
When We Were
is
Kings.
full.
And George-
Again, you've already seen it. then.
George Foreman's in Rumble.
I'm honestly nervous to continue, so that's why I rang this. Billy,
I
talk
can't wait to
me.
judge the speed round. Let's go.
Well, as our friend TJ Levin says, you should never give up, JTE, because he
I
hates
gave him about
quitters.
round
Yeah,
3, Billy.
that's what he said. He says you should be ashamed. You shouldn't do that. He gets really in people's face. I'm nicer than
Yeah.
that.
Thank
That-
you.
So
that
many
is
funny
true.
George Foreman
Thank you.
arguments.
Donnell says Conor McGregor. Neil says LeBron. Tom wants to see Mario Andretti. Evan says Bo Jackson. Eric, Hank Aaron. Brian Knight wants to see
Aaron's good.
Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
And Anthony wants to see Roddy Piper.
Oh, that's a good one.
I will remind the audience out there that this is a game. We're fighting things. People throw things out there that may or
Yeah.
may not be
I was
like their
shocked
full
some things I heard.
beliefs. People are just throwing things out there to try to win
I'm
sometimes.
a huge Ali fan. I never heard that jerk.
There's
Really? I didn't know that.
I to not mimic what
Yeah,
you just
yeah.
said, but I have heard some negative things
I mean,
about his
he's a-
personality
he's a
before.
strong personality,
That
that's
doesn't
for
mean
sure.
that it wouldn't make a great TV show.
Oh, for sure.
Based on these arguments, I have never even heard a pitch like yours. That was kind of wild and awesome.
Was it like a variety show?
I would
I might pitch it like Rob Gronkowski in Quantum Leap.
I would
okay.
certainly watch it, but I don't know if that's like the show that we need right now. I think that when it came to George Foreman, JT, you did
Yeah.
you stepped out.
I stepped
needed
out.
to hear more.
Or at least to go
How
at it.
with Muhammad Ali, you get the point on this
Yeah.
one though.
I would love to see good Ali, but I do think the casting would be the hardest part.
Billy Biz, talk to me.
Isn't it always?
Yeah, 53% Muhammad Ali, 27% Gronk, and 20% want
I'm
to
more
hear
excited
how
for the
that
reality
Foreman grill
show.
got
Like,
started.
I want to see him just party on that cruise for like an episode.
What was Growing Up Gronk? The book, weren't they supposed to do like a
Oh, were they gonna
reality
do a
show
reality show?
about? Yeah,
That's why I
well,
wanted some of the new Gronk.
okay.
New Gronk.
Recreate
All right.
the Gronk.
So, Hal, you have 3 points going into this. Makuga, you have 2 points
Okay.
going into these
Here we
speed
go.
rounds. Are you guys ready?
Sir?
You know how this works. I ask you questions, you give me answers. You have 20 seconds each to fight, 10 seconds to rebut. Here we go. Don't cheat.
Oh, I wasn't.
He was,
Sorry.
he was spacing out, but it was
Yes,
right in my
I
paper.
totally zoned out.
Oh, I wasn't.
was concentrating.
Guys, out there, he really wasn't looking at my paper. I swear to
promise.
God. I swear. All right, here we go. Who in...
Oh, no bell for speed round, but good try, lad.
I think that was a...
Ooh, that's a booth call.
That was a makeup bell.
That was a makeup for
the
last?
previous, yeah.
All good.
Thanks on that one, though. Who in the digital space, so like what we do, should there be a TV show based around? Who in the digital space?
Either you say JTE, you get my point.
Epic rap battles of history.
Who in the digital space?
Oh, who?
Yeah.
Who? Like
Oh.
a person.
Who in the digital space?
Epic Lloyd.
Tipsy bartender?
Oh, wow.
This did not go the way
Yeah.
that we thought this was going
How'd
to
you think it was going to go? What
That you were
was
gonna
the
name. That
intention?
you were gonna name people in the digital space.
I did.
like Billy Business,
Andy Signor.
Andy Signor.
Should we give it another go? Or?
Nope.
No? Okay, let's
All
do
right,
it.
go ahead, guys.
I don't know either of these.
How
so
how you
I'm
win
excited.
first, so you're starting first. How'd you think it was gonna go?
I'm going with Epic Lloyd from Epic Rap Battles of History because he is an amazing rapper. He can play all these different characters, and his raps are always on point. Not only that, he's a member of a long-standing comedy group called Mission Improbable, and one of the founders of the West Side Comedy Theater. So you can follow his life where he's creating this YouTube channel.
I'm gonna go with Tipsy Bartender. He's an amazing dude that comes up with these ridiculous shots and drinks that look so appetizing. If he was to go around to bars and teach bartenders around the world to make incredible flared out bar drinks, and he himself is a personality. He's a loud dude from the Bahamas. He makes a TV show. He is the energy.
That sounds like any other Food Network show. This could be Epic Lloyd rapping about pop culture, rapping about what's going on in the news, and then we can bring in his comedy cohorts and we can just blow out the world.
I don't know if I really want to see a show about a dude rapping about politics over like an extended period of time, but I do want to see a dude helping other people create magic in booze.
You guys did exactly what the
Yeah.
question asked for,
Yeah,
though.
yeah, they did.
Good work. It was confusing because we had non-name names, but they're name names.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't make that any less complicated. JT, what do you think based on these arguments?
I'm not super familiar with either, so I'm just going by hearing the arguments,
Yeah.
what show I would rather want to watch, and I'd have to go with Hal's. It just feels like it's more creative, and I think that'd be a more entertaining show.
Billy Biz?
Yeah, I don't know either of these two people, so it was purely arguments. I felt like I just heard a little bit more about what the show would be with Hal.
I think it's a good place to be when we don't know the people because it is just really, really based on these arguments. I think that the Food Network argument was neither pro nor con. It shows that it could exist and similar things do exist, but I didn't hear anything too negative about why you didn't want to hear about people rapping about politics. So I like the idea of your show better, how you get the point.
All right.
We're 4-2 right now. Here we go into this next question.
Jeremy.
So I don't know if you guys heard this, but production on Bachelor in Paradise has resumed. Should alcohol be limited on reality shows? Yes or no?
Yes.
No.
Makuga, starting with you.
I think that that ABC and the producers of these shows have really gone down a really terrible rabbit hole of expecting these people to get more and more drunk, and that's when bad things happen. If you get them to a perfect level of buzzed, you're gonna get honesty, you're gonna get genuineness, but you're also gonna get comedy. You don't need to see blackout drunk idiots, and this is what happens when stuff like this isn't limited.
Part of the nature of these reality shows is seeing people act the fool, and they make these mistakes. What they need an increase of is security, monitoring, and making sure everyone is safe. If you keep that up to par, then you will avoid situations like that. But alcohol, Bad Girls Club, Real Housewives, it's all driven.
You kind of made my argument for me is if you're still regulating, you are still limiting. Thus, you are making it actually a lot safer. You can still have a great time. This is coming from a crazy drunk dude. You can still have fun limiting your alcohol intake. The Hal pause.
That's an inexact science, and it will limit the show. We like seeing people go to the extremes. That's why we watch these reality shows. You're taking away the reason why we watch them if you put that limit.
Hal's a good arguer, man. He's got the goods.
This was a good one, and I like when we are able to bring things in that people are actually debating out in the real world, because this is a question right now. So, JT, based on these arguments, what do you think?
It's close, but I'm leaning towards Makuga just because I think he gave the pros of why not having it would be a little bit better, whereas his feels more like, yeah, they did it before, why not keep it going? So I'm just kind of going Makuga on this one.
What do you think, Billy Biz?
Oh man, it's so hard to keep my own personal thoughts on this out of it, just because those arguments were both great.
The job's tough, man. The job's tough.
I do agree with what Hal said. Like, unfortunately, no matter how disgusting it makes us, the reason why we watch some of these shows is to watch people get super drunk and act stupid. So it could take away from the show. By a hair, I'll give it to Hal.
I think that both of you guys have really solid points. I think that's why this is such a hard discussion that we're having right now anyway. But I heard what I needed to hear from Makuga was about why this show wouldn't be penalized in any way from limiting it, why it wouldn't get worse. And you did explain that to me, and I thought that was strong enough that you get the point on this one.
All right. One on the board here in the speed round.
All right, here we go. 3 to 4. What show should have an episode in black and white?
Orange is the New Black.
Westworld.
Starting with Makuga.
There's a lot of people out there that may say Orange is the New Black has jumped the shark, and I will be one of those people. What would be awesome is to take it back to what the show is actually all about, and that is the inside and the outside. And the inside of the prison is real black and white. You are wrong. You are in prison. There is nothing darker than a prison show in black and white. Look at the prison scenes in American History X.
Doing Westworld in black and white would be an amazing homage to Westerns, and it would be a beautiful cinematic exercise. Seeing Westworld in black and white, you would be an homage to John Ford, George Stevens, some of the directors of the heyday of Westerns, which it draws from, but then you...
Putting robots that nobody cares about in black and white doesn't make the show any better. Putting actual prisoners in black and white, like black and white stripes on old prison uniforms, is so fitting for that show.
You just turned it into an arbitrary gimmick episode. That ruined it, what you just said with those black and white stripes. That is a nonsensical episode that wouldn't fit into the flow of the season. Westworld would be a wonderful exercise and so much fun. Black and white with the technology.
You can tell you're vets when you get to the speed round, and they're both just like tit for tat on these. Billy, I'm coming to you first.
I think I'll give this one to Makuga. I think he explained how it might help his show a little bit more, where all I heard from Hal was how it might kind of homage something that's come before instead of actually helping the show currently.
JT.
Yeah, when Hal first said Westworld, I was like, oh my god, I think he's got it. But I think Makuga just made a stronger case. So I'd have to go with Makuga on that one. I think the way he described how like the black and white being inside prison, I gotta go with Makuga. It's close though.
I think both of them should take a stab at this after your guys' arguments.
Yeah.
But I am slightly agreeing with you guys, and I tend to err on the fact that I liked what your analogy was, and comparing it made sense to me. Makuga, you get the point. We've tied up the game.
Oh, Halliburton coming in hot.
I'm sure you love when people call you that, right?
Yeah, I love my main man, Dick Cheney.
All right. So these are something new we've been doing on the show. They're pretty fun. They're called our character rounds. So we ask you guys to actually give us your answers before we give you the question. Okay?
Oh.
So right now, what we need from you is a TV character. It always takes people longer to think
Kramer
of
from Seinfeld.
Okay.
George Costanza from Seinfeld.
Oh, snap a Seinfeld off.
Okay. Which TV character, you guys are clear that you're going to be fighting
Yeah.
for the one that you just
Yes,
picked. You'll be
yes.
fighting first because you answered first. Which TV character would you volunteer to be tickled by? Starting with Hal.
Oh, no.
This is so fun.
Kramer is a man of leisure. Cosmo Kramer knows the human body. He's a weirdo. He probably knows special ways to tickle people that the Incans, that the Mayans created. He is so out there. I would want no one else to tickle me. He'd manipulate my tickle sources, my humor sources.
Tickle sources is my new favorite thing ever. All right, sorry. George Louis Costanza was a hand model. Hand models know how to tickle. George Louis Costanza was also a fake architect, thus knowing where in the body you need to tickle. He knows blueprints of the body, a body architect, hand model hands giving you the old tickle, and there's nothing more than one crazy, crazy dude in the Van Buren boys giving you a tickle.
There's nothing you said that makes him a good tickler. A fake architect? Wrong. Cosmo Kramer is a man of leisure. He is a weirdo. He would know how to manipulate the human body. George Costanza, no.
George Costanza may not be the man that any lady wants, but maybe he is the person that he learns how to tickle, and that is his hidden talent. You give Costanza the chance. Costanza.
I'm so glad we went with this. GT, what do you think?
I gotta give it to Hal on this
Yeah,
one.
that was
Yeah,
good.
sorry. The architect, you knocked him on that. Doesn't really make sense. And Kramer's the type of character, like you say, he's a weirdo. I believe he probably does stuff like that.
What do you think, Billy Riz?
Oh, hands down, Hal crushed this one. It was no contest for me.
Yeah, I had to hear like why you wouldn't want Kramer's hands on you, like why that wouldn't be so great. Also, I'm not convinced that architects do know blueprints of the body.
Yeah, that was terrible. I don't know where that was going. I just went. I saw you go to the corner of my eye. Her eyes light up. I was like, I'm bombing on this one. This is terrible.
Not fully convinced, but I don't know otherwise. I'm not an architect myself. I
Started
don't
with
know
the
what you
hand
have to
model,
do.
though, and I was like, oh,
Yeah,
the
the hand
hand
model is
model.
strong. Hal, so you get the point on this one.
Must win now.
Yep.
Okay.
Josh.
We're in a
Or go
must-win
tie.
situation. Here we go. This is true. Today is National Hike with a Geek Day. Which TV geek would you rather take a hike with? Carlton from Fresh Prince or Ross from Friends?
Carlton.
Starting with Carlton.
Ross, all right.
Carlton is much more practical than Ross. Carlton would make sure that we had proper water with us, that we didn't get lost. He'd have it all mapped out, and he's got the moves. He's got the Carlton dance, so he's not going to get tired on that hike. In fact, he's going to keep me going with that Carlton dance. When I want to stop and slow down, Carlton's like, "No, we gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta go." Oh, Carlton is going to keep that hike going.
Ross Geller from Friends is a paleontologist, thus he knows where to look on the hike for possible dinosaur bones. Because when I'm on a hike, it's just walking in dirt. And what do I want to do on my hike? I want to find something interesting. And that's what Ross Geller brings to it. A paleontologist on a hike. What if we stumble across a long-lost fossil on a hike? Amazing what Ross Geller can bring to a hike.
You just described the most boring hike ever. A hike is not an archaeological dig. Runyon Canyon is not a pit with a brontosaurus in it. That does not happen on a hike. Carlton will keep you going. He will keep the hike fun.
So Carlton's taking up Runyon, the most boring hill in the world, and Ross Geller may be taking me on a hike into ancient ruins with possible dinosaurs. I think I'm gonna go with Ross over then a Tom Jones song over and over again with a dude in a sweater vest.
Ooh, that's fun.
My ears were literally just popped.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. That was a mixed picture between good and okay. It's okay. JT, what do you think based on these arguments?
Oh man, I gotta give it to Makuga. I think, bringing him as a professional like that was a genius. The dance is cool for the first maybe half mile. Then I'm just bored. I just can't take it anymore. So I gotta give this to
Billy?
Makuga.
Yeah, I think he nailed you, Hal, with that. Well, if he's taking you to Runyon, Ross is going to take you to somewhere crazy cool because he knows better, so Makuga.
Makuga's hike sounded like more fun, man. I go with Makuga on that one. Which
tighten
brings
it
us
up.
to this final question.
Here we go.
Ooh, sudden death!
Here we go, baby.
Something about Makuga coming on the show just has us ask a lot of questions about booze. So here we go.
Another one?
Okay.
All right. What is the better central location for a show? Coffee shop or bar?
Bar. Farts.
I heard
I think Hal got bar. I believe you got farts. No, that's coffee shop. Hal, starting with you.
Yeah, I think that's the ropes on this one.
Punching.
Exhibit A, Cheers, one of the greatest shows of all time, one of the great sitcoms of all time. In a bar, your emotions come out. You drink, you start at one place, you get to another place. People hook up at bars. People lose their shit at bars. People have to get over their day at bars. It is an up and down roller coaster of emotion, of humanity in a bar.
I'm going with coffee shop. Coffee shop today is the modern day bar. You can see anybody at a coffee shop. Not to mention the two greatest shows of all time, Friends and Seinfeld, took place at a coffee shop. If you can take place at a coffee shop and make anything possible in a comedy, the coffee shop is where you need to go. Crazy barista, crazy food items, big couch, coffee shops, possibility, caffeinated.
The modern day bar is a bar. Those were tertiary locations, not secondary in those shows. Cheers took place solely in the bar. You have a rise and fall in the bar. In those locations, oh, no.
Bars can have regulars, they can have drunks, they can have bartenders. What coffee shops have over bars is the intelligence factor. Always a lot of thinking going on in coffee shops. That was a weak ending, and I apologize. Son of a...
JT.
Yeah, the fact that he got bar, unfortunately, I feel like it was kind of over there because, like you said, Cheers, the fact that whole shows take place in a bar, I don't know any shows that solely take place at a coffee, so it felt
It
like...
was better central location. It wasn't.
Yeah, I know, but I think by making the fact that his shows could take place only at a bar, kind of won him the fight for me.
It is.
I don't know if I understand what JT's trying to say, but
the JT
I
logic.
do think that how he painted it in his very first argument. There's just so much range of emotion. You start at one place, you can end at another. There's just more that could happen in a bar, in my opinion. I think Hal gets this point.
I think there are so many things we could knock a bar for, like it's lazy writing, people rely on people being drunk too much, or you can't trust what they're actually saying because there's too much liquor involved, and we didn't have enough knocks. And because of that, because of these descriptions, Hal, you get the point, and therefore the TV Fights victory of the day. We
wow.
can breathe.
Great match, man. Great match.
Great match.
That
And I want
was
to
a
give one
good
homage.
one.
You said sudden death, which is a movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme. The
In
Pittsburgh
Pittsburgh.
Penguins.
He was the goalie. Yes.
Hal, you're going through to something that you don't even quite know about. Tag team turmoil, baby. Billy's gonna tell us all about it.
So we've been teasing this a lot. We told you a lot about it. I can't see the TV, so I don't know if the graphics
Nope,
up.
it's not up.
Throw the graphic
coming up.
Let's.
Yeah,
there
there it
we go.
is.
So basically, what's going to happen is there's going to be 3 teams of 2. It's going to be a normal episode, just 5 rounds of TV fights. The fighters on each team will switch off. Then the 2 teams that go to the speed round, they will have to designate one of their players to play the entire speed round. You are putting your fate in in one person of your team. The two people the team that wins that speed round, they become the two people that then have to square off against each other. The winner of that will face Dan Murrell for the title. So you want to pick a partner that you think can help you win, that can help you win Tag Team Turmoil, take out everybody else, but not someone that you think that you can't beat.
Is there a teleprompter
Catch
over there?
22.
So many levels.
How do you get that, like, so
He invented
clearly?
it.
Yeah, I
knows
just
it. He
know
knows
it.
it.
Really, really good.
So now we have confirmed.
So you just you filled the fourth seat. That's you, Hal.
We have confirmed we have Mr. Jay Washington will be part of it. We have Sasha Pearl Raver. We have Lon Harris, the Game Master, who has the best undefeated record in TV fights.
You're having a hard time pronouncing those M's today.
I know. And now we
Game
have
Master.
the Game Master, and now we have Hal Rudnick as the fourth. There are 2 slots open, and then it's going to be real interesting since Lon has the best record in TV fights. He gets to decide first who his partner is going to be.
That's new to me. That's cool. I like that logic there.
Are we choosing each other as partners?
Yeah, it's got to be in the 6. You choose each other.
Within the 6, there'll be
Or
3
maybe
teams
just
of
for
2.
him, because he has the best record, we have him pick anybody, and we only put one more person in. There's so many ideas.
How about we
Girls
just
Gone
make this
Wild.
even more complicated after I just got done explaining it?
Yeah, so if you guys don't get it, tweet at Billy.
Yeah, just tweet me.
Don't include me.
Yeah. Awesome job, Makuga. So close. I feel
Thank
like
you.
this is exactly what happened with Ellis when it was.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've been really close to the mountaintop. I'm the Sisyphus of TV fights here. I push that ball all the way up to the top, and it rolls back down onto me like Indiana Jones.
But at least when you climbed that mountain, you might have found a fossil.
That's true. With Ross Geller.
Yeah,
I
I
gotta
was
say this
listening.
was a ton of fun. I love being on here with Hal and JT and Roxy and Billy and everybody here. Thank you guys so much. It was a blast.
Thanks for
A lot
coming
of
in.
fun.
Where can
Of course.
everybody find you?
At Josh McCougar on Twitter and Instagram, Collider TV Talk every Monday, the Josh McCougar Show on YouTube.
JT, you were really, really screaming over everybody today. I think we
tried.
should calm down for next time a
Yeah.
little bit from you.
Oh my! Yeah, I could be calm. Yeah, sure. Guys, catch me on YouTube at JTE Movie Thinks on Twitter. I have a daily show on Anchor where I just talk movies and whatever my geek mind wants to talk about. It's fun.
Cool. And Hal, until we see you in Tag Team Turmoil.
Yes, and again, sorry for all the yelling. So much fun with you guys. Roxy, thank you for having me. Billy, super fun. Thank you for holding it down over there. You can find me at Hal Rudnick, and check out the ScreenJunkies show every Thursday on YouTube. And one more thing. I don't know if I've told you guys about it or you guys, but I'm going to be on this season of America's Got Talent.
Yes.
I am playing a character, an
Whoa!
original comedy character that I created named Eric Jennifer. He's the good boy of comedy. He's a stand-up comedian, and I am competing as this character. And I never say my name is Hal Rudnick. I'm just playing this completely different character who's the good boy of comedy. Good job.
There's a person like that on Twitter, and they started, and I was
That's
like,
me.
that's him.
Yes.
That's you.
Yes. So follow at Eric Jennifer, just like the two names together at ERICJENNIFER.
Genius, man. It's genius.
At Eric Jennifer, or visit ericjennifer.com for more info.
Is Eric Jennifer a Jew? Because with the C at the end there, that's how most of my tribe members do it. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Jew,
Yeah,
so
sorry.
maybe Eric Jennifer is at least a half Jew.
Dude, congrats, man. That's so
Very
cool.
cool.
Thanks
Yeah,
so
that
much.
is
Yeah, I'm very
awesome.
excited about it.
I love that. And Billy Biz, where can everybody keep up with you?
On Twitter at Billy A. Patterson, I'll be answering your Tag Team Turmoil questions for the rest of the evening.
Good luck.
Eternity.
Good luck with that. Definitely don't tweet them at me. But what you can tweet are your questions, what you guys want to have fought on the show next week. Use hashtag TV Fights. You guys ask the majority of these, and you're so awesome at it. So keep tweeting those in. You can find me at Roxy Stryer, and we'll be back next week. Same time, same place. Love you guys.
You clear?